is the things you could do with the free Intel GPU. Let me know what you think of that down below, but I know that Reese probably won't have as good of a deal as that on UFD Deals today.
Yo, happy Monday. Welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out in the internet. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, and if you're feeling creative this week, then why not pick up the FlashForge Photo 8.9-inch resin 3D printer. This big boy is going for only $149, making it 32% or $70 off. And just remember, keep your resin 3D printer in a well-ventilated
Battery
area.
50%.
And speaking of things you need to keep well-ventilated, the AMD Ryzen 9 5950X is back. You can pick up this beautiful 16-core Zen 3 CPU for only $469 with the promo code, making it a total of $330 off. And that's it. Those are the deals for today. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Thanks, bud. You give me deal, I give you video of the Pixel Fold. Actually, I don't know if Reese gave us any deals, but I'm still gonna give you a video of the Pixel Fold anyways, because that has been officially leaked. You can see in this video that this thing has a whomping bezel on the inside. It has the nice display on the outside. You can see that you do see a crease on it, especially once it turns off, but while it's on, it's not super noticeable. I really like the outside finish. The Pixel Fold is likely to go on sale sometime in May, but it's supposed to go on sale for around $1,700, which just puts it out of my price bracket and something that I'm not going to want. What do you think of the bezel that you saw on the Pixel Fold? Were you interested beforehand? Not interested now? Let me know. And ARM looks to be interested in making its own chips. Typically, the way ARM does things is they license out their architecture. So you have companies like Apple or Qualcomm making designs based on ARM's architecture, and ARM might do
Battery
some prototyping
50%.
now and again with TSMC, kind of come up with a few concepts, but typically they don't bring that for sale. However, FT is reporting that that's going to be changing. ARM, especially as they're looking to IPO later this year or next year, is looking to actually get into hardware sales, and that they've been in discussion with that, and that ARM might actually have some of their own chips that are available for companies to purchase to put into their different products, which would shake up the industry quite a bit. ARM has never really been a competitor. It's just been something that's produced these chips, and it helps to kind of give an indication if this was in play before NVIDIA was going to buy them out. They were thinking along this way of, hey, we have to come out with some hardware. You're telling me that if NVIDIA was making chips with ARM, that they wouldn't have had this like crazy monopoly thing where they were like, you know what? We're not going to sell our license out to Apple unless they're going to pay us a whopping ton to keep it, because now they're competing directly with us. I think it was a good move that NVIDIA never got to touch ARM. I'm curious to see where ARM and them making their own processors is going to go. We'll keep you updated as we hear more details on that. Now I'm going to keep you updated on this next story. The 7800X3D, they're dying. They're roughly exploding in people's computers, and it's happening to several different people. So this is a report that came out over the weekend on Reddit, where a user posted their 7800X3D with their Strix board, where you can see a physical indentation in both the motherboard and the CPU from where it overheated and caused some actual physical damage to it. So the post, pretty popular, saying 7800X3D just killed itself and my Mobo, with the poster providing several images of it and giving us a lot of detail, saying that the CPU pad is physically bulging. I imagine there was too much heat on the contacts causing the pad to expand, not that the CPU has an internal component which exploded. Additionally, this is coming out after there's other YouTube channels and repair shops that are talking about how they're seeing this exact same thing happen with X3D chips, but it only appears to be happening on Asus motherboards. It's not any other type of motherboard that's out there. And additionally, Steve from Gamers Nexus contacted the poster saying that they will pay for both the board and the CPU at full retail value so that they could have it, make the RMA easy for this poster. And the poster did say that they've contacted Steve, so hopefully we get some sort of deep dive into what's going on from Gamers Nexus soon. I'll keep you updated when that happens, but a few more details coming out from the poster indicating that both AMD and Asus have reached out to them, saying AMD was quick to respond and provided a prepaid shipping label for RMA. I also heard from Asus a little later, who also offered replacements. It just came a little too late as to reduce downtime, and for some stellar analysis content, I have already sent them off to Steve. steep. No shade to Asus though, it's only been one business day and this occurred at the end of the week. Both AMD and Asus have done a fantastic job in trying to make this right. I do feel for AMD and Asus here, as they did request that the parts be sent to them. It would have been good to get them to it first to provide an official solution quicker. Sorry guys. After speaking with Asus, it was brought to my attention that this technically isn't warranted with AMD due to the use of 𝚱𝚘. So that's the overclocking of the memory on the motherboard, with the user saying, with this in mind, as I stated above, I purposely went back to a BIOS version which posted with 𝚱𝚘, which was not an approved version for the X3D series CPUs, and chalk this up to BIOS instability rather than any potential intention by the BIOS engineers. So for people on a similar build, I'd say just make sure to update your BIOS and forget 𝚱𝚘 for the time being until we know things are stable and working as intended. The cause here is still speculative, however, may be a good safety measure to take. So that is a good recommendation for anybody who might be running a 7800, 7900, or 7950 X3D with an Asus motherboard. Be sure to not have it overclocked with 𝚱𝚘 at the current moment. This is not the first report that we've seen of X3D chips dying. 5800 X3D chips were dying from overvoltage. The 7950 X3D, 𝙱𝚘 found out that it dies at voltages that were totally fine for the 7950X. It's a problem that is out there, and it looks like that there might be some issues in the Asus BIOS that are causing these problems. The poster also giving more details indicating that they were on a 7600X beforehand. The 7800 X3D was running fine for the last week. There was no CPU overclocking. Everything else was fine, and that they returned home after leaving their system idle with nothing strenuous running, and then it was unable to post. And the AIO was hella toasty upon removal, will burn you hot, specifically the bracket. I speculate the short to have caused the heat, especially if it continued for a short while. No form of protection was tripped. The pins on the LGA do look intact, just recessed and slightly charred. So this could potentially have even been a fire hazard that could have caused some further issues later on down the line. It's not quite clear, but also the poster showing some enhanced versions of the CPU, and you can see that it's physically cracked along where that little bulge is. You can see that there's lines next to the pad where that shouldn't be there. So this does appear to be an actual issue that's happening with Asus and 7800 X3D chips. It's not quite clear how widespread this is. We do need more details. I do trust Steve from Gamers Nexus to give us a good detailed analysis at it. We do obviously want to hear Asus and AMD side of the story as well, so it's tough to say what was the right move there. Probably for content reasons, Steve getting it makes a whole lot of sense. But we need to find out, is this plaguing other manufacturers? Are other motherboards at risk? What about Asus motherboard specifically is causing this to happen? There's a whole lot we don't know. Stay safe out there, friends, especially if you're on the 7800 X3D. Again, maybe don't put on 𝚱𝚘 memory. Don't run it in any sort of overclock. Keep your chips safe. Hopefully they don't burn up, and hopefully there's no more serious damage that happens, because especially with how physically deformed both the motherboard and CPU were, I've never seen that before in my entire life. And so I can't imagine just how hot it must have gotten at those contact points. It would just be a shame to hear if there's some sort of further damage that happens where potentially even the PC, the rest of the components catch on fire, or something worse happens to somebody's house. Looks like a problem. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Obviously, if Steve posts the video, we'll let you know about that here on Hot News, and I'll be back for more of the hottest tech news tomorrow.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is April 7th, and we're doing robot and nonsense stories and links to share with your friends.
Our strategy isn't working. They now control more sectors than us. They have Sector Delta.
Bravo 2.
Our forces have seized Sector Charlie. Bravo 2 targeted. Attack.
Tracking! Tracking!
Sector Alpha just fell to the enemy. We'll face defeat if you continue like this. You need to secure more sectors. Hostile troop! Allied troops targeting Bravo 1.
Puskademo! Looking for targets! 𝚘𝚑𝚒𝚎𝚗𝚡!
Doing good so far, troops. The hostiles hold fewer sectors than we do. We now hold Bravo 2. Our reserves are now down 50%. We just took Sector Alpha.
I can't! Somebody help!
I'm going to save you. For this, you thank me.
Enemigo está aquí! 30 meters from you!
Thanks! Cover me!
Bravo 1 assault initiated by our troops.
I saw hostile. Distance 150 meters. Reloading weapon! I get you!
Attack! 150 meters away! Our troops have occupied Bravo 1. Just secured Sector Bravo.
I'm dying!
We control more sectors than they do. Make sure you defend our positions.
One of our objectives has been attacked!
We need transport and my marker.
Understood. Requested vehicle en route.
Fall in there!
They have Sector Echo.
occupied by hostiles.
Our forces now occupy Alpha 1.
Take it down!
Alpha 1 under assault. Support drop ready for your call.
We no longer control an objective. We've taken Sector Alpha. We are attacking Alpha 1.
Hostile helo located. 250 meters. Eyes on hostile. Scanning! Can you help me out?
Control of Sector Charlie.
Thanks a lot.
We've got Sector Delta.
Hostile trooper mine! 20 meters from my position! You're 40 meters away.
Sector Alpha has been lost to hostiles. Bravo 1 attack begun by our forces.
We have a man down!
170 meters away.
Grenade out! Scanning for hostiles.
Hostile located! Southeast! Tango there! 20 meters away from me!
Trying to turn the tables on our enemy. Victory's still within reach. Hostile infantry! 70 meters from your position!
Don't help me! Do not help me! Not safe! Keep your distance! Stay away! Stay away!
Our troops have secured more sectors than the hostiles. Our forces are advancing to take Echo 2.
Echo 2 was just taken by Allied troops.
Sector Echo is in Allied hands.
Don't hit me! I'm hurt! Help me!
We lose more troops and this is over.
position.
Sector Alpha has fallen to the enemy. If we don't stop them, they'll take every sector.
Transport.
Bravo 2 is one of our active targets.
Enemy soldier marked.
Damn, look how many there is. Man, I probably could have took him if I fucking was better. It took like at least half of them. Damn, I suck. If I don't respawn, it doesn't count. I didn't die.
We've lost this battle. The Russians outplayed us here.
Hungry. I'm fucking hungry. I don't know what I'ma eat. When I see a girl, I'ma skeet on her face. I'm looking out the window. There's a KFC. There's a Taco Bell across the street. There's a Culver's. Yeah, I think Culver's sell low carb burgers. That's what I want. Like 3 of them bitches. Problem is I want fries, so did I get any points? 600
Let's make the impossible possible.
combat ribbons. What is the RM68 or RP? About to go to Culver's and get a lettuce wrapped burger. I don't.